Welcome back. What you see on your screens could be mistaken for thousands of night bulbs illuminating a path. It is not. This is a snapshot of a mammoth traffic congestion in Gurugram, the direct result of hardly 4 hours of torrential rains. The visuals alone are a grim reminder of what Gurugram, once touted as the Millennium City, has come to represent. As per district authorities, Gurugram received over 100 millimeters of rainfall in just 4 hours last evening, leading to flooded highways, widespread waterlogging and traffic snarls stretching up to 7 kilometers. Exasperated citizens took to social media to share details of what many called a nightmare. Many social media users claimed that they were stuck on the road for anywhere close to 6 hours. These bring us to some very basic questions. Why does a city which houses some of India's super rich and boasts of an IT hub come down on its knees year after year with barely hours of rain? Now, joining us are two very prominent residents of Gurugram, Sohail Seth and Advaita Kala. They need no introduction. Let me go across to them straight away. Sohail Seth, your view on what's happening. You know, it's unfortunate that we have these discussions year after year, but it's sad. Why can't we take a long-term view on this situation? This flooding is not going to go anywhere. Clearly, there is a drainage problem in Gurugram.
Because we have a bunch of jokers running the government. We have irresponsible people. The citizens are equally vacuous by electing these jokers term after term after seeing the rubbish that they do. So we are in a, I don't blame the government. The stupid people are the ones who actually elect these jokers. This is a third-term BJP government. The Prime Minister has gone on record. His first ever public program in 2014 was Swachh Bharat. And these people have ignored that very simple directive. You tell me, does it take rocket science to clean the drains? Does it take rocket science to maintain sewage systems? No, it doesn't. Don't we know that there's a monsoon which is an annual feature? What are we surprised about? We are surprised because the nexus between builder, government, municipality has been existing even before the BJP. So, when the Congress jokers say that, it's a BJP issue, it is a political party builder nexus issue which has been playing for ages. Everyone is in denial because it's a bloody cozy club. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Right now, you can't even scratch your back because you're underwater. So the reality is, until we speak up, no one will do a damn. On July 18th, right, in a program, I went to town and I said, Gurugram is a national shame. I've had to amend it. It is an international shame. You have some of the largest companies headquartered here, both MNCs and domestic. You have some of the most important CEOs and influential people staying here. And this is what you give them? What do they tell their principals in Atlanta or in Dallas or in Chicago? Sorry, we couldn't go to work because we would have to otherwise wade through flooded waters. You have absolute no empathy. These are a bunch of scoundrels who are running this government. They need to be arrested. They need to be behind bars. The judges don't care because the judges live in fancy homes. Their homes don't get flooded.
Right.
The day a judge's home gets flooded, watch what happens. The day a chief minister...
Sohail, I'm going to come back to you. Those are important points of a citizen, of course, who's very, very upset with the situation.
I'm not upset. I'm very logical.
Year after year.
I'm not upset.
Yeah.
I know this nonsense repeats itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Advaita, if I can get you in, there have been a lot of residents who've been stuck. They've been putting across their experiences on social media. Now, what do we do for a long-term basis? Because this needs proper planning. Gurugram, everyone says, has been built without proper planning as far as the drains are concerned, as far as where the water will go during monsoons. How can we start working on a war footing to correct all of this? Does there seem to be any way out?
If Congress created this mess, BJP has done a fine job of maintaining it. That's the bottom line. And frankly, at this stage, we're so frustrated that even turning to the government doesn't seem like a viable option because we've done this repeatedly year after year. Every time that we encounter this issue, we have raised our voices. We've done these debates. The media has stood by the citizen and highlighted these issues, but nothing seems to move them. Nothing at all. They're just waiting for the rain spell to get over and people to move on. I mean, it was so embarrassing. 2 weeks ago, we had expats who live in this town take to the streets and start cleaning garbage, picking it up. This is the desperation that we have reached now. And no one seems to be listening. A month ago, when we had a similar kind of deluge, two people lost their lives, one because of electrocution. Still, there's no action. There's nothing. I mean, a month ago this happened. You would think that they would have enough common sense to plan in advance, to warn in advance, to give all their advisories in advance. None of it happened. Yesterday, I went to Delhi. I canceled a meeting and came back early because I realized it's going to start raining. Today, on the news, I found out that my area where I live is one of the three lowest lying areas of Gurugram and is expected to get flooded today. I'm finding out through the news. Where is the administration? Where is the understanding? Yesterday, you're saying 4 hours of rain. When I was heading back, it started raining heavily and it was only half an hour in. And on Golf Course Road, which is the artery of this town, which is so high profile, your water levels were till your bumper already, half an hour into the rains. So we don't even need 4 hours of rain to have this kind of situation. It's reached a point where now people are just disgusted. And I think there is a tendency in the political class of Haryana across the board wherein they don't consider Gurgaon as being part of Haryana. They think of it as Delhi plus one. And that's the way they treat it, because most of the people who live here a lot of them are from different parts of the country, probably have votes in different areas of the country. So these people just don't even look at us as a voting bloc, just a bunch of urban people who have access to social media and TV and who will keep quiet once the rains pass. So they're going by with this and they're getting away with it year after year after year. We're just waiting for some sort of epidemic to strike because of this stagnant water and garbage. And then there'll be other excuses for that.
Absolutely. Sohail, what do you think is now the way out? You know, considering there has been so much of construction, so many buildings which have been made over the last 30 years, over successive governments, it's very difficult to start correcting what's going wrong. It will probably need a very strong political direction. And if the political direction is not coming, do you think the courts now need to intervene? Do you think citizens like you have to approach the Supreme Court with a public interest litigation saying that please set up a committee, get things going to correct this in the long term?
So you're a young man, Parikshit. There's an old saying, there are no statues of committees in any parks. You set up a committee, you'll kill the whole goddamn thing because they will then take refuge of the goddamn committee. I'll tell you what needs to be done. Number one, the Prime Minister needs to sack Manohar Lal Khattar from the Union Cabinet and Naib Singh Saini as Haryana Chief Minister. That will send a signal to the bureaucracy. See, to be fair to Naib Singh Saini, it's a year that he's taken over. The essential rot was Huda followed by Khattar. Khattar, by the way, for screwing up Gurugram, has got a promotion. He's now in the Union Cabinet. So now he can screw up the whole country. This is how beautifully we work. Now, no one is blaming Khattar because Khattar will, he's in the Union Cabinet. But let me tell you, the Prime Minister is not, he may seem silent, but don't think he doesn't know. And he will crack the whip, and he will crack the whip with immediacy, as he should. Number two, the bureaucracy. Let me tell you, the heroes last night were the ones from the Gurugram police. Whether it was the traffic police or whoever it was. They were the ones out. IS officers, absolutely useless to my mind. The DC of Gurugram sends out a tweet saying, there have been rains and there have been floods. There'll be more rains and there'll be more floods. So please stay at home. Wow. As if we are blind. Obviously, it has rained and obviously it has flooded. Are you telling us post facto? A, B, what happens to the daily wager? What happens to office goers? Forget every goddamn thing. These are a bunch of insensitive scoundrels. Gurugram has 6 hospitals. What if there are emergencies? What if people need to go to a hospital? What will you do with ambulances? These chaps should be skinned alive. If I were running this country, I would skin them alive. Because this is what these people have done. They're a body blow to shame and they're a body blow to empathy. They have none. You tell me, tomorrow someone dies. Advaita talked about 2 citizens who passed away. Is there any accountability? I'm not saying IAS officer 1 is wrong or 2. And by the way, the same Indian Administrative Services people, whether it is Lucknow or Indore, are doing a stunning job. Why can't they do one here? Why is Gurugram only seen as a repository of making money? Every guy who comes to Gurugram comes as a pauper, goes away as a billionaire. I'm talking about the services. Why?
Right.
Who's responsible? Naib Singh Saini has not bothered to come here. He comes to Delhi, holds
Okay.
up in Copernicus mark in the goddamn guest house of the state. Why has he not come here? This is why.
You know, Sohail, we can understand what you and Advaita are trying to say, that we now need to really sit up as citizens and take a long-term view
You need to
of things.
crack the whip. Forget sit up. You're being polite. I'm telling you, catch them, arrest them, make demonstrable examples of these jokers. That's the only way.
All right, we've run out of time, but thank you so much, Sohail, for joining us with your views, and to Advaita as well. It's definitely a terrible moment, and of course, it's quite shameful what we're seeing in Gurugram year after year. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of News Centre. More news and updates continue right here.